Hello everyone. My today's topic of discussion is unveiling the limbic system, the brain's emotional center. As we all know that limbic system is a very important part of the brain which actually controls the emotional standpoint of a human being. Let's start. Regarding the introduction of the limbic system, it has got a very good evolutionary importance. It is an ancient brain structure crucial for survival. That means without emotion, without motivation, without memory, a person is meaningless. So from the very beginning of our ancient brain system, limbic system is present there, which actually regulates the emotional conscience of a human being, and it also plays a central role in the human experience. Anatomically, limbic system is made up of three different parts: amygdala, hippocampus, and hypothalamus. We are very much familiar about the hypothalamus and hippocampus, but may not be much familiar of amygdala. Now, amygdala is responsible for the processing emotions, especially fear and anxiety. When we think about something and we feel that we are fearful about that particular thing or the particular gesture of the particular person, then the amygdala comes into play, and it controls the emotions during the fear and also in the anxious moments. Hippocampus is mainly very important for the memory formation, and it actually decides that which memory will be primary one, which will be secondary one, or which will be our lifetime memory. So regarding the memory activity, hippocampus is the prime organ. Now, hypothalamus is very familiar structure of the nervous system, and it actually controls the basic needs of a human being like hunger, thirst, and sleep, and influences the hormonal release also. Those hormones basically which actually controls the emotional part, the fear, the anxiety, the hunger, the thirst, means the physiological as well as the emotional hormones of our body. Regarding the role of amygdala in emotion and memory, amygdala actually helps in the fear processing and emotional memory. Fear processing, the amygdala receives sensory informations and triggers a fight or flight response. Means if a person faces a frightened situation, whether he or she will stand there and face that particular frightful thing, or either he or she will flee off from the place to save himself or herself, is totally decided by the amygdala. So this is the fear processing of the amygdala. Now, emotional memory means if a person is very much emotional regarding some incidents, some quotations, some pictures, some voices, some notations, so and want to keep that in memory, whether it will be kept or removed from the memory, that is decided by amygdala. So these two are the very important role of the amygdala: the fear processing and the emotional memory. Regarding the function of hippocampus in spatial memory and learning. Spatial navigation. The hippocampus helps us from mental maps of our surroundings, enabling us to navigate our environment. That means in which situations we are, and according to the situations, how we will behave, how we will express ourselves. That is totally controlled by the hippocampal region of the limbic system. Now, the second one is memory consolidation. This structure converts the short-term memories into long-term memories for storage in other brain regions. That means if a person wants to memorize a particular incident for a long period of time, then this transformation of these short-term memories for a very long period of time in some particular memory cells of the brain is done, by this hippocampus part of the limbic system. Limbic system has its special role on motivation and reward also. It comes under dopamine system. It interacts with the dopamine reward. We know that dopamine is a happy hormone. If a person do something and in lieu of that job or that particular thing what he or she has been done, whether he or she is getting some reward, and then the happy hormone comes out and motivates that person more to do the particular thing over and over. So this is the function of the limbic system, that this sense of motivation and doing a particular thing more and more, that depends upon the reward he or she is getting in lieu of that particular job being done. Now another part is addiction. If when this job or the particular part which that person completed but still not got any reward, that may lead to some compulsive type of behavior. That means that person may be demotivated, and maybe the dopamine system is not working well, or the person may be addicted to some other thing, and it will or the person, sorry, or the person will demotivate to do the particular thing again. So this motivation, reward, demotivation, addiction, this is totally under the control of the limbic system. The limbic system is also involved in the emotional regulation. Emotional control, which is very important for a person to survive nowadays, that is totally under the control of the limbic system. If a person is under stress, how he or she will behave towards the stressful situation, the person may cope up with the situation, may alter the behavior in that particular situation, or may go away, try to go away from that, or try to avoid that stressful situation. How he or she will behave to that situation aroused in the environment or in the society, that is totally controlled by the limbic system. Regarding the emotional intelligence, our ability to understand and manage our own emotions is totally influenced by the limbic system. That means how much we can control our emotions, how we can be in a calm state in a stressful, under a stressful situation, how we can handle a particular situation. Somebody gets very much angry in a situation, and in the same situation some other person handle it with a total cool. So this is the variation that the limbic system is, how the limbic system is controlling. In this case, this is a habitual behavior. If a person try to be calm in a particular stressful situation, so a day will come when that person will doesn't that person will not react so much towards the stressful situation or any situation arises in the environment. So the limbic system gets habituated in such a way that if a person can control its own emotion, that means it's controlling its own limbic system. Otherwise, the limbic system will control the emotion of the person. Some disorders are there which are associated with the limbic system dysfunction. Very prime one is anxiety disorder. Overactivity in the amygdala can lead to anxiety disorder, such as generalized anxiety disorders and phobias. If a person is, if the psychology of a person is mishandled in the childhood, then in future, if that particular incident is, somebody tell that particular incident in front of that person, that can be converted into a phobia like situation. For example, if a person is demotivated very much from the childhood, then in future, if a person is in front of that particular demotivated person. If a person is telling that nothing can be done by you, you are a total worthless person, then that person will gradually grow the anxiety disorder, and ultimately he or she will think that yes, I am a total means there is nothing that I can do. The person in front of me is definitely saying the right one. So this is an anxiety disorder. Now, mood disorder. Dysregulation of the limbic system can contribute to mood disorder like depression and bipolar disorder. Mood disorder, this is a problem of the limbic system which actually comes from the depression. If a person is depressed, if a person is alone, if a person is faced some painful situations or painful experiences in the childhood, and nobody is there to share, uh, and if the person is very much forceful to live alone or to do the daily activities alone without sharing with other people, then gradually the depression occurs, and this depression actually leads to the bipolar disorder. Now, memory impairment. Damage to the hippocampus can result in memory impairment, including Alzheimer's disease and amnesia. So, if the hippocampus is much more stressed, that means if the past of a person, any bad experience in the past of a person haunts that person very much, and off and on the person is thinking about the past, what happened with him or her, though so this situation will ultimately lead to the dysfunction of the hippocampus. It will damage the hippocampal region, it will damage the memory cell, and it will cause a stressful situation in the brain, which will ultimately cause the dysfunction of the limbic system, and which will ultimately lead to Alzheimer's disease, amnesia, and all. So this anxiety disorder, mood disorder, memory impairment, which are very close to the limbic system dysfunction, are totally associated with the emotional stress. So if a person can reduce the emotional stress, then these disorders will not be associated with the limbic system. Neuroimaging techniques for studying the limbic system. There are basically two neuroimaging techniques are there. One is MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, which provides the detailed anatomical images of the brain. That means if there is any anatomical problem in the areas of the limbic system, like in the hypothalamus, hippocampus, amygdala, etc. And fMRI, that is functional MRI, measures brain's activity by detecting changes in the blood flow. We have a considered amount of blood flow which is dedicated to different parts of the brain. Now, if due to some reason the blood flow is gradually diminished, that means the oxygen and the nutrients which are flowed by the blood to those specific regions of the brain will also gradually decreasing. So this will cause the malfunction of those parts of the brain. So if MRI helps us to know that which part of the brain is actually not functioning well and causing different types of problems. So these two, MRI and fMRI, these two are the main neuroimaging techniques for studying the limbic system. So thank you very much. I think in nutshell, we came to know about the anatomical structure, the function of the limbic system, and how the limbic system controls the emotional process of the human brain. Thank you so much.